The U.S. will ban these apps within 45 days unless they are taken over by an American company. Of course, we know that Microsoft is currently in talks to buy some of TikTok's operations in countries like the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. In this executive order, Trump cited some of the things we already know that U.S. officials are worried about when it comes to these apps, things like national security concerns.
TikTok has taken the world by storm. With over 1 billion active users and counting, the app's popularity has exploded, especially among the young people who use it to create and share short videos of themselves and others. However, while it may seem like a harmless fun, there are growing concerns about the potential negative impacts that TikTok may have on the mental health, behavior, and development of our youth. So, in this video, we will delve into the potential risks and harms associated with TikTok, including the dangers of exposing children to cringe videos, the potential for mass psychosis, and the real-life stories of those whose lives have been destroyed by the app. So, get yourself ready and join me as we explore the world of TikTok and its impact on the millennials, or as they prefer to call it, Gen Z. Well, I'm not going to be rude like most videos that talk about TikTok. I will also mention positive points of the app. After all, if it was as bad as the videos out there claim, TikTok probably wouldn't exist anymore, right? So, TikTok is a social media app that allows users to create and share short videos of themselves, lip-syncing to popular songs, dancing, or performing other activities. The app's algorithm recommends videos based on users' interest, creating a personalized feed of content that keeps its users engaged. Users can also follow other users, like and comment on videos, and share them with friends on other social media platforms, which is really good, since it helps a lot both the user and the platform to promote themselves on other social media platforms, because users can create their videos on TikTok, download it and repost it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and even Snapchat. Also, TikTok has brought many benefits to the world, including providing a platform for people to express themselves creatively and connect with others around the world. The app has helped a lot to democratize content creation, giving people from all over the fields a live opportunity to go viral and build a following. One of the key benefits of TikTok is its ability to bring people together and create a sense of community. Users can connect with other users who share the same interests and participate in challenges and trends that are taking place around the world. This sense of community has been extremely important during the COVID-19 pandemic, when many people have been isolated from their friends and families. Overall, TikTok has had a profound impact on the world of social media, providing a platform for creativity, expression, and connection. But hold on. Where does TikTok come from? Who created it? And when did all this success started? Well, in the following part of this video, I'll tell you in short words the story of TikTok. Now, if you wish to go deep into its story, being able to understand the smallest details, consider watching this video. This video will present you an extended version of the video you're watching right now, where I go deep into every detail about TikTok's story and origins. TikTok was created by the Chinese company ByteDance back in September 2016. The initial version of the app was launched in China under the name Douyin. Then, in September 2017, ByteDance decided to launch a new version of the app and called it TikTok, which was targeted at users outside of China. The app had similar features to Douyin, but with focus on content that would appeal to a global audience. The idea behind TikTok was to create a platform that allowed people to express themselves creatively and connect with others around the world. As mentioned before, the app's algorithm was designed to recommend videos based on a user's interest, creating a personalized feed of content that will keep its users engaged. ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, was founded in 2012 by Zhang Yiming, a software engineer from China. The company initially launched a news aggregation app called Toutiao, which quickly became popular in China. Today, TikTok is one of the most popular social media platforms in the world, with over 1 billion active users. In fact, the impact of TikTok was so strong that many other social media platforms began to feel forced to reinvent themselves. The wave of short videos started to be felt in every corner of the internet. Instagram and Facebook introducing Reels, Snapchat introducing Spotlights, and as incredible as it may seem, even YouTube itself did something to face TikTok. What you see today as Shorts actually emerged as a way for YouTube to be part of the wave of short videos brought by TikTok. And by the way, it worked, but that's for another video. As I mentioned before, this story has been well summarized and compressed in order to contextualize you to the origin of TikTok. If you want a more detailed and thoroughly told story, consider watching this video here. Now, as we discussed in the introduction of the video, there are growing concerns about the potential negative impacts that TikTok may have on the mental health, behavior, and development of our youth, not to mention the security risks. So, let's talk about it. That's why you started watching this video in the first place, right? One of the main concerns about TikTok is that it exposes young people to cringe videos. These videos can be inappropriate, offensive, or even dangerous for such age. They can include content that promote harmful behaviors such as drug use, self-harm, or even sexual activity. Additionally, the cringe factor of these videos can have negative effects on children's mental health, leading to problems like anxiety, depression, or even suicides. Cringe videos on TikTok can be defined as videos that are awkward, embarrassing, or uncomfortable to watch. They often involve people performing acts or saying things that are meant to be humorous or entertaining, but can also be inappropriate, offensive, or even dangerous. Take for example this trend that has been around for a long time. The idea of this trend was basically to serve soda in a container until it completely spilled onto the floor. No purpose, no reason. This trend went on for several months on TikTok, and hundreds of people were doing it in different places. This behavior can only be judged as foolish, as it makes no sense. Did the persons doing this take into account the suffering of the person cleaning the floor, or how difficult it might be for some people to put food on their table? I'm sure not, but this is just one of the smoothest examples I could find. There are still a series of dark cases going on TikTok, but I'm not going to bring those cases here, otherwise I will be promoting these trends myself. Exposure to some sort of videos can have negative effect on the mental health. It can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Also, cringe videos on TikTok can also normalize inappropriate or harmful behaviors. A toddler may see content that promotes drugs, self-harm, or sexual activity, and start to believe that these behaviors are acceptable or even desirable in society, which is totally out of question. There are a number of strange behaviors that are normalized on TikTok. Some people even become famous for them, which in a way can reinforce in the person's mind that these behaviors are appropriate and desirable in society. After all, if there wasn't, then there wouldn't be so many people replicating it, right? And these strange behaviors range from someone becoming famous just for doing these, to creating an endless list of videos doing sexy or explicitly sexual dances. You don't have to spend 10 minutes on TikTok to find a huge ass walking on your screen, because that's basically what it's all about. That's how most girls get thousands of followers. And for any kid who grows up watching this kind of things, the kid is obviously going to assimilate that this is the true, the way, and the life. And the only thing that is guaranteed is a society free of moral values, a society that doesn't believe in anything, a society that just wants what it wants. Want to take your clothes off and film your butt while walking on the streets? Go ahead, no problem. Want to have sex in the middle of the streets? Go ahead, nobody minds. After all, everyone around is so busy endlessly scrolling on their TikTok screens. We already have enough problems here, right? Well, I'll tell you a few more, because this story is just beginning. Back in time, I had no idea what mass psychosis was. In fact, at the time I made this video, I still had no idea about this other side. And after I got to know it, I really felt I should make a video mentioning that side. And I will do it in this video. In less technical words, mass psychosis is a phenomenon where a large group of people experience similar hallucinations, delusions, or other mental health symptoms. It is often caused by social or environmental factors such as exposure to traumatic events or shared beliefs. Cases of mass hysteria, or often known as mass psychosis, are not something new. This has been present since the times of Jesus. Anyway, I'm not going to develop much this story. In recent years, there have been several cases of people experiencing mass psychosis after being exposed to TikTok videos. Take a look at these.
The fact that faking a mental illness is any way desirable on the platform is the real problem with TikTok. You see, TikTok actively promotes these sorts of channels. And I mean, who knows at this point how many millions of young people have been exposed to content that celebrates and promotes mental illness. And then once these users are exposed to this sort of content, they are then caught in these algorithm loops that make the users mentally ill themselves. I mean, social media in general plays a huge role in developing one's identity and personality, but with TikTok, this process works in such a powerful way, where the app actively recommends these channels to exactly the kinds of people who would be most vulnerable to it. People suffering from Tourette's will see a lot of Tourette content. Depressed people will mostly be shown depressing content. People who are anxious are showed anxiety-inducing content. If the app thinks you're in the same demographic as people who engage with this content, then it will guide you towards it. But the worst thing is that through TikTok's insanely advanced AI algorithms and addictive user design, TikTok will trap you in these thought loops and you won't even be aware that you're in one. In one article by Sadie Lee, she describes her experience on TikTok, where she found herself in this addictive TikTok loop of people self-diagnosing OCD and autism. She described that once she was stuck in this loop of content, she and millions of others would engage with this community of self-diagnosing on TikTok. And this is where the TikTok pipeline takes a very sinister turn, because the true danger of this lies not only in its damage to the people who really suffer from these conditions, but also to TikTok users' own self-development and future progress.
And for these reasons, TikTok is being banned country after country. And speaking of bans, I'm sure you have already heard about the banning of TikTok, and you probably wondered to yourself why this will happen. After all, TikTok is another social media platform like any other, isn't it? We have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder, Viber, Telegram, and the list could take another 10 minutes of video. TikTok is exactly like all of them, right? Right? Well, actually, no, not so little. Despite its popularity, TikTok has faced significant controversy in some countries. Several countries including India and Pakistan have banned the app over concerns about its content and potential security risks. The Indian government, for example, mentioned concerns about the app's handling of users' data and its potential impact on national security. In Pakistan, the app was banned over concerns about the circulation of immoral and indecent content. I believe that I don't need to develop too much in this story. We have already talked about how most girls get millions of followers and why some guys are there. The United States has also taken steps to restrict the use of TikTok, with the Trump administration issuing an executive order back in August 2020 that would have effectively banned the app in the country. The order mentioned concerns about the app's potential to compromise national security, stating that, quote, "The spread of mobile applications developed and owned by the companies in the People's Republic of China continues to threaten the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States." While the order was ultimately blocked by a federal judge, the controversy surrounding TikTok has continued to fuel tension between the US and China. The two countries have a long history of political friction, and some experts have suggested that the US concern about TikTok may be motivated, at least in part, by broader geopolitical issues. Despite these concerns, TikTok continues to be hugely popular around the world. The app's ability to bring people together and provide a platform for creativity and self-expression has been embraced by millions of users, and its impact on popular culture cannot be denied. However, it is important to remain aware of the potential dangers associated with the app and to take steps to protect young people from harmful content and behaviors. TikTok is owned by the Chinese company ByteDance, and as such, it raised concerns about the Chinese use of the app to influence and control people around the world. The Chinese government has a history of strict censorship and control of the internet, and many experts believe that TikTok will be used as a tool to further these goals. One of the key concerns is that the Chinese government could use TikTok to collect data on users and use it to nefarious purposes. There have been reports of the app collecting vast amounts of user data, including information on their location, browsing history, and even device data. Now, let's do a little analysis. TikTok has been around since the days of fingerprint. Now they are present in the era of Face ID and retina analysis. If TikTok belongs to ByteDance and its servers are in China and they have access to this data that you use on your cell phone, doesn't that represent any danger for you? They already have access to your face, your fingerprint, your voice, the things you search for, your contacts. They already have access to you, and it may seem harmless today because after all, nothing has happened yet, but one day or another, it may have some consequences. In addition, there are concerns that the Chinese government could use TikTok to spread propaganda or influence public opinion around the world. Given the app's massive user base and its algorithm, which is designed to show users content that aligns with their interests, it will be relatively easy for the Chinese government to use TikTok to target specific people with propaganda or disinformation. For example, take a look at these.
TikTok is able to create trends that radically influence the lives of so many in Generation Z. And what's scary is that so many of TikTok's core audience are barely even adults. TikTok users are being influenced into emulating these trends that are highly toxic and polluting to society. But of course, these trends are manifesting things far worse than degenerate behavior. The spread of political disinformation and infiltration of Chinese propaganda is now a serious concern to all of us. This first became apparent on the Western version of TikTok when pro-Hong Kong posts, anti-CCP posts, pro-Tibet content, and anything spreading awareness of the persecution of Uyghur Muslims was all removed. And this concern takes a further serious turn in light of recent reports that Zhenyu Data, which has reported links to the Chinese military and intelligence networks, has collected personal details of about 2.4 million people outside of China, with pretty much all of this data being sourced from TikTok. The former editor of the Hong Kong Economic Journal wrote in a column that TikTok is reaching deep into offices and homes, shaping how Americans understand real-world events. He went on to explain that while China's move to establish physical footholds around the world was easy enough to recognize, China's quote soft power ambitions have been much less noticed until recently, where China is using highly developed AI technology and powerful algorithms to erode free speech and Western culture. It's for this reason why ByteDance has pledged to hire 10,000 sensors to identify and block anti-government content. Now, I already know that some of you will think I'm fear-mongering, but when you look into China's history and current political motives, you start to realize how daunting the situation truly is.
China is also notorious for using its big tech companies to track and predict the behavior of its own citizens, as seen in this 60 Minutes report from last year. China's stated goal is to become the world leader in artificial intelligence by 2030. Senator Hawley fears China is doing the same thing here. Just last February, the Department of Justice charged 4 Chinese military hackers with stealing records from the credit reporting agency Equifax, affecting 145 million Americans, almost half the country. China has been caught hacking the second largest American health insurer, the agency that stores information about all government employees, even records from the Marriott hotel chain. Hawley says TikTok is just the friendly face of Chinese data harvesting.
For all these reasons, TikTok has been identified as a significant cyber threat by the United States and some other countries. While it is unclear exactly how the Chinese government is planning on to use the TikTok for its goal, it is clear that there are risks associated with its use. So, it is important for users to be aware of these risks and to take steps to protect themselves and others from potential harms. This is HIDLSON, and if you feel like this type of videos seem like a cup of coffee, consider subscribing to the channel and set the bell on. On this channel, I'm making videos about money in business, exploring the other side of the coin that is not so often spoke about. I will always do my best to bring you stories that are motivating, alarming, and entertaining. So if there is someone who you think that should definitely watch this video, don't hesitate. Grab the link and share it to your friends and family. Also share it to your Instagram stories, Reddit and Facebook, and help spread good message. Now, this type of video takes huge amounts of time to be created, so please hit the like button. Nothing else to say. Wish you a really great day, and I'll see you in another video.